Thank you so much, Mohit, for taking our time. It's a real pleasure having you with us. Every report, every news piece that you see today on Realty speaks about demand that we have not seen in half a decade or more than a decade, especially in the last 1 to 2 months. Tell us about what you have seen on ground. What sort of a pickup have you seen in not just inquiries but actual sales translation?
Hi, good morning, everyone. See, the sector has been reeling under a downturn for almost 8 to 9 years now, and even before COVID came in, the sector was having one of the best affordabilities. The prices had not gone up for many years, and if you adjust for inflation, the prices were down. So affordability is at an all-time high. So the conditions were all set for a strong demand recovery. And this is a cyclical industry. So once you have a down cycle, there will be an up cycle. And I think all of us believe that we are at the cusp of this up cycle, which is expected to start. Now, after the COVID came in, the demand has picked up very significantly. And that is because consumers today understand the importance of homes. The amount of time we have all spent in homes over the last 1.5 years, I don't think we have spent that even in the last 20 years. So everyone understands the importance of home. The affordability is great. The mortgage rates are the lowest. So all conditions set for massive demand recovery, and we are seeing it on ground. Of course, Q1 there was a major drop in sales because of the second wave, and that was very brutal wave for all of us. So sales obviously were not the paramount important thing at that point. Saving lives were more important, but now Q2 onwards, again we see strong demand. Customers are back in sales offices, and very strong traction across projects, across markets.
All right. You're primarily, of course, in the MMR area. How have you seen, thanks to the fact that your sales has started picking up quite significantly post the second wave? How have you seen, your inventories as well unwind? If you could share a picture of what the unsold inventory is like today versus, what it was maybe a couple of months ago.
Yes, we have a strong presence across the 4 metros. If you look at Mumbai, Pune, NCR, and Bangalore, we have very strong presence and very strong sales. And across markets, sales are doing very well. It's not just Mumbai. Mumbai, of course, got the benefit of stamp duty cuts last year, and the sales trends continue to do very well. In terms of inventory levels, inventory levels for us is quite low because we sell almost 70% of the project at the time of launch. So we don't sit on very high inventory levels as a company. Even at an industry level, the inventory levels have come down because there have been very limited launches within the industry, and a lot of existing inventory have got sold out. So if you look at the inventory levels are at all-time low compared to what they were 3-4 years back. And this is true across markets.
Right. Mohit wanted to understand, while sure there is a demand revival which is taking place, is pricing power as well coming back to the sector?
I think pricing power would take some time, because first the volumes have to grow. And we are seeing good volume growth. If we can sustain this volume growth over the next few quarters, then you can, and once the inventory level starts depleting, one can expect the price hikes. But my personal view is that it might take a couple of quarters before we can see a meaningful price hikes.
And which are your current ongoing projects and what's new in the pipeline?
See, we have a very large number of projects ongoing, and we have a very large pipeline. At this point of time, we have a launch going on in Pune, where we already clocked more than 325 crores of sales in the launch, and it's going pretty strong. So we are pretty hopeful that it will be a blockbuster launch. We have done a launch in Bangalore where we have already sold more than close to 250 crores of value of stock. Again, going very strong. We have 2 launches which are planned in NCR, which is happening right now. In Mumbai, also we have launched the project in Panvel. So we have multiple projects getting launched this quarter. We have a very strong pipeline for next few quarters, and it's going quite well.
Well, my understanding is that the real price appreciation has happened in tier 2 cities. While Godrej has a specialist in large metros, whether it is NCR or Delhi or Bangalore, is there a temptation to come outside your comfort zone? Let's say go to cities which perhaps historically you've not gone into, because that's where I understand the real boom and the surge has started.
Yeah, it's everywhere. We are looking at new cities. So for us, it's not that we are not looking at new cities, but if you see the bulk of the demand in India, the organized demand is almost 70 to 75% in these top 4 to 6 cities. So focus would remain these. The new cities is something we have started to evaluate, but as of now, we don't have any plans which are being firmed up.
Now, one side you are indicating to us that volumes have picked up, but on the other side, the real estate sector is also getting hit because of high cement prices, steel prices, everything which has got to do with construction, even labor cost, I understand, has gone higher. So are we in a scenario where top line is coming back, great news, but the bottom line may not be that strong?
Yeah, see, if you look at the steel and cement prices and their impact on the bottom line, typically, and just doing a very rough maths, even if there is a very significant inflation on steel and cement, the impact on the bottom line is around 1% of the margin. So, 1% price hikes are not something which is very difficult. So those kind of things can be passed on. But these are not significant price hikes either for the for the company or the consumer. These are small costs which can be passed on to the consumer, which we are doing in projects wherever it is possible. And the net impact of these are pretty low if you look at from a top line perspective or the margins perspective.
Mohit, when you say that volumes have gone higher and prices have not gone higher, what will be the criteria which you would monitor or look out for to understand that, look, the pricing power is coming back? Would you be testing market gradually? Will it be the neighborhood prices which start going higher, which you would follow? I'm just trying to understand that what is the turning point when you would be in a position to convincingly increase prices, because I'm sure you don't want a situation when you increase prices and demand drops.
Yeah, so it's a fine balance. You very rightly said, you don't want to increase prices and have the demand drop. For us, we test the pricing at every launch, and we do typically 4 to 5 launches every quarter across cities. So in a launch, we do a very strong consumer research to test the pricing, and obviously there is always a push and pull on pricing. There is, we would like to increase the price, but of course, consumers should see the value and willingness to pay. So that balance is something we always like to strike. And again, I'm not saying there is no price hike. There are markets where we have seen, some price hikes happening, but across the board, across the industry, I think these things will take some more time before it's because the real estate cycle is just beginning to go to an up cycle, and typically price hikes come little later in the cycle.
All right. Well, it's a cyclical industry. We are just seeing the beginning of that upcycle, according to Mohit Malhotra. But we leave it at that. Thank you so much, Mohit, for joining us this morning on The Market.
Thank you very much.